Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I share trainings, walkthroughs, and insider tips to travel advisors build confidence, book smarter. And tonight's training is all about how to market resorts. I'm going to walk you through the proven strategies to promote all-inclusive properties, highlight unique resort features, and create posts that attract clients who are ready to book. If you are here live, drop a quick hello in the chat so that I know you're here with me. And of course, if you're watching this on a replay, make sure you go ahead and drop a hashtag replay so that I know that you stopped by. Now, before we get started, and while I'm removing all this fancy stuff, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss my weekly live trainings. Every week I go over something new, but I like to generally cover all things travel, like resorts, cruises, weddings, and just everything that you need to know to grow your business. Now, as you can already see, I am on the How to Market Resorts page for us to get started. So we're going to go and dive right in. Now, how to market resorts. I honestly believe that resorts equal one of the most profitable niches for travel advisors. We have a lot of different things that we can do with resorts. So it's important for us to go in and kind of deep dive on how to market them. So we're going to cover a lot of different things tonight, but first thing that we're really going to talk about is why resorts are so powerful. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So why are resorts so powerful? Knowing your audience, the tools and platforms that we can use to market resorts. We're going to talk about different angles and positioning. We're going to talk about where to market resorts beyond social media too. Content ideas and formats, selling the value of a trip versus the actual price, different promotions and incentives, how to stand out, and basically how to incorporate it. Okay, I'm going to give you guys some examples, how to incorporate resorts in your marketing. And of course, we're going to do a Q&A and a call to action at the end. So you guys have something to work on when we leave in. Okay, I'm not just going to leave you guys like, all right, this is how to market it. Have a great day. Nope, we don't do that here. We always have something new to continue to do when we leave. So you will have some homework, and of course, we'll have a Q&A at the end. So if I don't answer you as we go through, it's just because I'm reading and not looking at the chat. So I will definitely have a Q&A to answer all questions though. So let's dive in. Why are resorts so powerful? Well, honestly, they're probably one of the top booking requests throughout travel. People love to visit resorts, whether it's international or if it's local in the United States. There are resorts all over the world, and it is one of the top booking requests that we get as travel advisors. There's a lot of commission that is tacked into resorts and extra add-ons like insurance, excursions, etc. But just different opportunities for us to make commission. Most of the commission can range anywhere from 10 to 16% per booking, with options of earning extra commission as well, with like bonuses with different vendors. So inside of the upsell opportunities, we also have room categories, we have insurance, like I said, excursions, we have tour options. There's just so many things that are built into just a resort booking alone. As well, clients normally have a great satisfaction rate when it comes to resorts. Now, of course, you need to do a little bit of research and due diligence and pick the right one for your client, but they love the all-inclusive convenience factor when it comes to a lot of resorts, or if they have any packages for like food, etc., whether it's like the European plan or an add-on. They always love that resorts offer so many things at one place. They like that all-inclusiveness, just not just for food, but just for the place of having the restaurants on scene. You know, they just need to get to the resort. Sometimes they have sister resorts that they can visit. Like there's just a lot that goes into staying at a resort, especially if you're like in Mexico or Caribbean. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do while at the resort as well. Repeat business. Resort clients normally once they go, they want to go again, and they normally like to plan it every year, and they normally like to change the location. So resort clients typically equal repeat plus a referral gold mine if you can do the booking correctly. Now, I go over a lot of different things when I train, and one of the things that I hit is your job doesn't stop after the booking. You have to follow up. You need to send emails. You need to welcome them. You need to text them. If you can do the correct way of the booking, and when completing the booking, you can honestly unlock a referral gold mine, not only just for the client, but for they will refer you to others because they enjoyed the thoroughness of your booking when it comes to booking the resort. So, first step that we need to do, you need to learn your audience. I say this a lot, but it's very important. You can market the wrong resorts to the wrong people. There are various different types of resorts, right? We have honeymooners and couples. They like that romantic, adults only. They like luxurious resorts. There's families. They like water parks and kid clubs and like Nickelodeon resorts. Probably it's one of the coolest resorts I've ever seen for kids. They like adjoining rooms where they can do the connecting rooms with the doors. They like for groups, right? It has to have an event space. It has to have something where they can get together. So that type of resort would need a larger area, larger space in general, right? So that would fit destination weddings, reunions, and even incentive trips. And then, of course, we don't forget our budget travelers. We always run into these, regardless of who you are booking for. You're also going to hit these too. So don't be afraid to share a good deal. But all inclusives, they have a very strong value for budget travelers. I'm gonna give you an example. I just did a booking, and it was for a birthday for a group, and one of the best parts was is everything was included in the package. Now I don't want you guys to think that I'm just meaning food when I say all inclusive. No, for us, I included a flights, transfer, resort, but it was at an adults only all inclusive resort. So all of that together, and it was only like $2,800 for two people for 5 days. Wow, great, love it. Everything's included. I don't have to do anything extra. You took care of it. Wonderful, right? That is a very strong value for a trip for when you're selling your clients, the value alone in the all inclusiveness of that trip, right? So keep that in mind. When you're marketing it to, regardless who your audience is, make sure you're packing in that value, right? So if I were to be marketing, let's just say your audience is families, okay? When I'm marketing a resort to a family, I want to tell them every single part that resorts back to that family's needs. So if they need a daycare on site, guess what? They have them. If they need a place just so they can go to a spa so they can relax, maybe the mom needs to get away. I'm going to hit that. Maybe they have picky eaters. I'm going to provide the best restaurants, right? I want to highlight every part of that resort that fits back to that need. Now, when we're marketing in general, we might not know that, right? Maybe I might not know all the specific details, but I'm going to still go back in and market all those specific needs to hit every single person that might see that post, right? We want all those special details when we're marketing. Now, I listed some good tools and suppliers that I like to get them from. I'm going to show you guys what I like to do in Vax. I have Vax pulled up. I'm also going to show you some TikToks that I put together, but for the most part, I really like to use Vax when it comes to marketing resorts. I like to put packages together in there, mock bookings together in there. I also like to still their videos. Well, not still, but I like to take them and then edit them. I have training on that, but I like to use Vax a lot. I also like to use Hyatt. They have really good deals. Rio Pro is good. You have to get set up with them and you have to get your code, but once you get that set up, you guys can get there. Charisma has good ones, and AM Resorts. Expedia Tap is good for package deals. If you guys want to drop some last minute package deals, try Expedia Tap. Tour operators, of course, Apple Leisure Group is inside Vax, but Pleasant Holidays and Vacation Express also has really good deals for resorts. And then Canva, I do most of the designs for my flyers in there. And any kind of reels, you have to always edit any reels that you get from the companies. So I edit the reels in there. And then, of course, I put my brand all over that content so they know it's mine. Now, let's talk about the different angles that you can do when you're talking about resorts. First, of course, all inclusive equals peace of mind. Food, drinks, activities typically are included when it comes to resorts. If it doesn't include that, find options for them that they can add if they want, or maybe try to find the best price if you want to market that way. Okay. But most resorts that we market are typically all inclusive. So we'll start with that. Next, if it's one of those fancy resorts, all right, if it has certain type of things like they have like the sunken pools, they have the attached pools. Sometimes you can just walk out your room and there's a pool, right? They have butlers, if they have 24-hour room service, if they have unlimited time for eating, if it has rooftop dining, anything that's luxurious, market that. Family memories, if it's family that you're positioning, of course, always hit the kids and the parents for relief or fun. That's where you're going to market them. Romantic escapes. A lot of our VAX bookings include honeymoon inclusions. So if you see that in there, market that. You don't have to always hit people that are, maybe you didn't book the wedding, but you can book a honeymoon, is what I'm trying to say. You don't know who's going to see your post. So maybe you can put a little just married. You can also book this for your honeymoon and get these exclusions or inclusions, right? Vow renewals. This is great because they'll normally have a vow renewal package that we can add in, but it's a great way to hit it still, regardless of booking resorts. And then, of course, a very, very great way to angle this is people are always looking for a vacation. So if you can get any kind of deal or, top resort, you can always go in there and do bucket list vibes like best resorts to visit 2025. Now, I go into way deeper details as we continue, but I just want you guys to always consider all angles when it comes to resorts because a lot of you guys just go straight for the price. Nobody's looking at the price when they're much more looking at the value of what they're getting for that price. The price, okay, great. What typically when we market resorts, we go through VAX. What do we get? A $50 deposit. So they're getting the price, but they need to see what they're getting for the price. That's the part that you guys always miss when it comes to marketing. So that's what I'm breaking down today. Where to market? Okay, you really can market resorts, honestly, on any platform. We know that, right? Instagram Reels, TikTok tours, Facebook ads. You guys can hit all of these different platforms. But what I want you to do is make sure that you're cross posting, okay? Resorts, for example, my most popular platforms are Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I feel like that's probably everyone's, right? Because that's what most people use. So I make sure I cross post because you would be surprised the hits that I get when it comes to different platforms. I don't get the same hit everywhere I go. Would that be the ultimate goal? Sure. But some videos do better on Instagram than they do on TikTok. So still cross post it, okay, when it comes to social media. This isn't a one stop platform, I would say. Pinterest. If you want to do Pinterest, do like blog resort style kind of stuff. Best resorts, best destinations. That's best resort for 2025. Most family oriented resort. Like that's a great place to start when it comes to Pinterest. You can make lead magnets and guides for that one. Email campaigns. We're working on newsletters this month. If you are interested in really marketing resorts alone, do a resort of the month as a spotlight. Blog, website, of course, you guys already know. I love WordPress. I have a lot of these. Top resorts, best resorts for families, top resorts for couples, best adults only getaway 2025 first, right? Networking, okay. If you guys are like in a BNI or if you guys do Facebook groups, local events or vendor shows, anything that's outside of our normal, Facebook groups, we do that a lot, but people don't normally hit them as much. If you guys are doing that, that is a great way to market resorts, okay? Like I said, most of our resorts have a very small deposit, especially if they're booked alone. So you can easily market a resort as, look at this, guys, $50 deposit, but look what you're getting all inside, listed out, right? So you guys can easily market resorts to multiple platforms and not just once. I really like that about them because they're just easy to market, right? Honestly. More platforms and examples. You guys could do like resort walkthroughs on YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, if that's a platform for you. People always ask me about LinkedIn. I don't really like LinkedIn for travel marketing. I feel like it's a business platform. Like my husband uses that platform to get a job. He's an engineer now, but that's where he started at, was on LinkedIn. So I honestly, travel, it could be a hit or miss on there. If you already have a platform built, then post on there. Yeah, of course. But when it comes to focusing on it, I haven't had much luck on it. So if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm going to still give you tips either way. Okay. If you do market on LinkedIn, you can promote it as an incentive/resort trip for businesses. That's one of the best ways you can promote a resort on there because that's who's on there. Businesses, people that are traveling are honestly, they're either established in their company or they're not looking for a job. So that's another market you could probably hit. But it's normally businesses on it. TripAdvisor and Google reviews. Ask happy clients feedback, right? You can even do Travel Leaders Network. And then if you have WhatsApp, some people like to use that. You guys can do even Nextdoor is a good platform, but you guys can do deal of the week and then add it to a VIP list and then promote that resort. Just like that. Okay. So Marketing formats, we like videos. You can do before and after travel moments, quick tours, carousel posts where you guys show all the amenities of the resort. You guys can normally just take things from their websites. They rarely ever have copyright issues. I have never had any. They want you to sell their stuff. So check if they have a marketing library. If not, you can try to use just a couple of resort photos. That works fine. Blogs, make sure you use best all-inclusive resorts like SEO keywords. If you use email spotlights, feature just one resort at a time with a promotion. And then, of course, if you want to do a lead magnet, we go over lead magnets a lot. They have packing lists. They have top resort comparison guides. I mean, there's a lot that you can do with resorts, right? So feel free to screenshot any of this, okay? Screenshot this one. Um, Feel free to screenshot one of these, okay? I'll leave it up there for a few seconds. But the reason I'm saying screenshot it, because I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but there's just a lot you can do. Okay. So start with one that you're comfortable with. Maybe if you're already marketing on social media, add it in there. But you want to definitely feature some type of resort. If you guys book all inclusive a lot, this is something that you guys can easily hit on. What I like to do a lot is when I just booked one, when I just booked it, okay, I go in there and I tell them about it. I just booked this. Great. I know you've probably already seen it on Facebook, but it's there, right? I just booked this. This is the deal I got. Great. If you want to book this, here. That sparks enough conversation for me. People love, especially in a personal setting. I've always say this. On a personal setting, always tell them what you're doing because people around you love to support you. And if they see you winning, they will also want to join in on that by doing a booking. So that is very common. Have you ever had that? Honestly, have you guys ever had a just book post do well? Because a lot of mine do. Whenever I talk about something I'm already doing, they love that. All right. Now, take a look at all of these. Make sure you pick the format that works for you. Okay. Here's some good resort blog content ideas. Is anybody working on a blog? Do you guys work with blogs? I know I did a training on blogs a while back. I love my blogs. I always just put them in there just as a hey, check this out, read this. People love that. Does anybody use those? Let me know. But top 5 family friendly resorts, what's really included in all inclusives, how to score the best room upgrades. And then what you guys do in here is, oh yeah, okay, for example, top 5 family friendly resorts. Let's change Cancun to Punta Cana. Okay. They have that Nickelodeon resort. I love that resort. I just think it's nice. I would slap that in there somewhere and be like, ooh, my best suggestion, Nickelodeon resort. Boom. You want to book? Get a quote here. Call to action. Something like that, right? Easily can put resorts inside here when you're talking about different types of all-inclusives, etc. Next, selling value versus price. Okay, a lot of people do this. They just want to show the lowest price, the best, cheapest deal. Let me explain something to you. The best, cheapest deal gets you the cheapest commission. Stop doing that. You guys put your foot in your own mouth every single time that you say, I want the cheapest deal. Yeah, well, so does your client. And that means the cheapest client, the cheapest price, and the cheapest client. Yeah, that's what I said. Cheapest price and client, because that's what happens. You get less commission the cheaper the price. We don't do that, okay? We need to sell them the value. So I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna read this, but when I was doing that booking, I just fresh right off the press. When I just did that booking, I thought to myself, how can I upsell to this client, right? I want to add more value to this package. So I went in there and they were talking about bedding situations. And I noticed that the suite, the junior view ocean suite, whatever it was, had double bedding. And I noticed the room that they wanted, which was the ocean view, which was less, they wanted had a king bed. So I just let them know. I said, hey guys, listen, I just want to let you know, if you pick that one bedding, you're going to lose the double bedding option. The king bed comes with that ocean view. So I upselled it. Why? Because I know the value of them wanting to have separate beds. That's something small, right? Yeah, but it just got me $30 more in commission. So do not undersell. Just because we want to save doesn't mean our clients want to save. Okay, I'm done preaching. All right, come on, let's go. So do this instead. Please do this instead. Sell the experience, right? Relaxation, luxury, inclusions. This is what you have a double bedding here. When I showed them that room upgrade for $100, it was it was more than it was like 120 or whatever it was. But it wasn't that much. I was like, look at this. You got a whole balcony area just for a little bit of an upgrade. Boom, sold automatically, right? Show side by side. You can even go in there and say, look, if you go and book this on yourself, this is what you're getting. But if you book this with me, that's one of the biggest things that you guys miss. When you ever get those people that are like, oh, but I got this for cheaper. Yes, you did get this for cheaper. okay? Even if they get it for cheaper, what did they didn't include in yours? Because you have, I promise you, you have something included. Even if it's yourself, you have something included that they don't have, right? Highlight the fact that there's transfers, excursions, or resort credits included, whatever is in that trip. And then remind them, okay, what I tell you, you handle all of the stress. You are valuable. You are worth booking with. So you need to let them know that too. All right, remote promotions and incentives. Here's another thing you guys can kind of do as an angle. If they have promotions like spa credits, free nights, or upgrades, include that. A lot of places will have bonus commission programs. Make sure if that's the resort that you guys are promoting that you guys know that, okay? Look for the resorts that have bonus commissions. Vax do them every month. I don't know if Vax will have them up now, but they'll be right here. Let's see. Up to $500 off double agent rewards. There you go, right? $650 on your Caribbean. To promote these, they're already done for you. Don't do like what? Why are you making it hard on yourself? Right? It's already there. So keep that in mind. Co-market with suppliers. If they have the joint promotions, use them. Give perks, free stays after so many rooms, etc. Like share a deal of the week. These are just ideas, okay? These are what I want you to look for when you're looking for the what resort to promote. They're already made for you. They're already on sale. Pick those resorts. Don't make it harder. They don't care, right? You know, like they're not going to be like, oh, she only promotes these resorts. No, get the best deal, okay? They're done for you in here. You can even come in here and do offers and incentives. Go to promotions and they'll tell you which resorts are currently on promotion. Okay, have me. October 1st, October 2nd. Wow, they're booked that now. It's must be because they're expiring. But you guys get the idea. I'm telling you which ones. Biggest group offer of the year, right? Family and friends event, ALG vacations. They're telling you what's going on. So make sure you guys are using your tools. All right. Okay. How to make yourself stand out as an advisor. Make sure you use your own branding. Always put your branding on everything so people can't steal it. Some advisors might be watching you. Put your own branding on there. Share authentic travel photos and videos. You guys can use AI for these, but honestly, I just show the photos of the resorts. And that's what I mean by that. If you have any client reviews or testimonials, feel free to share those. And then stay up to date with supplier trainings, okay? Because a lot of those supplier trainings, they unlock incentives and they'll give you extra rewards. So if you're booking one resort, like I book Rio all the time, guess what? I am a Rio pro because I book all the time and it helps me get incentives. And when I do a Rio booking, like I just did, I go over there to Rio Pro and I drop that into the loyalty reward program so I can get extra rewards, right? Of course, always build a go-to resorts favorite list because this will come in handy when you get a new client. And it also makes a really good blog post. All right. So one thing I also want to talk about is you guys have a tendency to get like a resort and then you just use it for one post and then you stress out about making another post. So I just want to give you a little bit of a secret, okay? 4 secrets, this one example. But you can use the same content multiple times. So let me explain. So you take that Secrets Riviera of Cancun. We're going to create a Canva reel with it, right? We're going to explain all the benefits, how to book, little, blah, 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 right? Next, we're going to take that same Secrets Riviera Cancun, and then we're going to make it into a blog post. We're going to talk about best adults only resorts in Mexico. We're going to make ChatGPT, of course, write all of that, but we can put our reel in there if we want, or we can put some photos in there. Next, take the same resort, turn it into a spotlight. Secrets Riviera Cancun. Same information. I don't have to look up anything else. I already got the stuff. Put it in there. Then you can even do a client's review. If you don't have a client review for it, or just do something in general, whatever, like a review of the resort that you've seen, maybe why you suggest booking it, how to book it, etc. Like there's a lot of things that you can do with that, but you want to show some kind of, look, you should book here, this is why. Okay, that's 4 types of content that you can do right there, right? And technically, you can even turn that whole mock. It can be just a mock booking. Take the price, share the details over and over and over, right? But I want to stress this because I don't think we realize how often we just use one set of content for once. Do you guys do that? I used to do that when I first started. I would use the same content just one time and be like, okay, I did that one post. It took me 2 hours. No, take that 2 hours of work and turn it into 4 pieces of content. Okay, let me know if you guys do that. All right, now I'm going to give you guys examples. We're almost to the end, but I just want to give you guys a rough idea of how I do this. So these are booking flyers. I do have a mock book training where I teach you guys how to do these exactly, but I do these a lot with resorts. And I'll put them throughout a month. If I, set up, I'll sit down and get a couple. And these only last for a few days, so you can't leave them running all the time. But it's a good conversation there, so I always just leave the deposit. You see how that $100 deposit? That's good, just like that, because that normally doesn't change that often. It's very close, right? So that part's fine. The resort credits will last for the month, so I always update that. But I kind of like to just throw it in there so they can get a rough idea of different trips. Okay, now video wise, I did pull up my TikTok. Sometimes I will screenshot it just like this. This is actually a booking that I was working on. So instead of putting the actual price, I just give them a little tier of it so they can kind of get the interest there, right? I also have one here. This is a flyer motion. It's actually not bad. Here you go. It's gonna play out. So these are flyer promotions. I put them in there too, and I turned it into a video. But I know they're not all resorts, but these are our things that we work with to book resorts, right? So you guys can do that too. Okay. Now, of course, these have music behind them and words and all of that, but just for TikTok purposes, we're going to leave it like that. Okay. Now, another place I want to show you is how you guys can actually get videos to make. A lot of people don't know this, so I'm going to throw this little tool out here. So if you're inside VAX and you go to reservations and brands and then go into ALG vacations, they have a ton of videos for you guys. So you're in here, okay, follow me, tools, and then you go to ALGV 360. All right. Don't worry if you missed it. This is always recorded, so it'll play back. So it's opening. Oh, goodness. Hold on. Oh, don't you love when you remember your password? That's right. Put me on spot there. Okay. If you click at the bottom right here, it says images and videos. Watch how they do the work for us. Let me show you how to do the work for us. Okay. If it loads, there we go. All right. So videos, I know it says 3 items. Don't believe them. They're lying. Open it up. They mean 3 different types of videos. All right. So we have destination ones. Okay. And we have hotel ones. They have 28 resorts in here that you can use. They have 91 different destination videos that you can use. You can easily take a couple of these videos, put them together, and make some really nice videos, right? They have Hotel Exparte, Rio. What else we got? Grand, whatever word I can't pronounce, hotels and resorts, corporate ocean hotels, Iberostar, Haven. Do you guys see this? Okay. They even do weddings. Hello. It's all in here, right? Outrigger. Rigger has a lot of them. Oasis, Majestic, Sandos, The Reserve, The Fives. Okay. This is a good place to start, right? You can, of course, get different types of content, but if you use these videos, please take the music off of them and change it because it will flag you. This is all copyrighted music on here. They don't tell you that, but it is. And then as well, take off the front of it and the back of it and put your own branding on it so it doesn't get flagged for copyright. So those are just some examples of how you guys can get started with the marketing. Of course, make it into your own, but you can easily, if you go get a mock booking from Vax on Oasis Hotel, right? Put the video there, put it together. There you go, right? Continue. So that is basically like the most training that I can really do when it comes to marketing resorts. I think you guys got a lot to work with, right? Do we all agree we have a lot to work with? Okay. But I want you guys to just take it slow on this, okay? Everything that I'm teaching you this week, we talked about how to market weddings, how to market cruises, and now we're doing resorts. I want you guys to basically have the ability to build up your 60 days of content over time by just picking up these. Like it becomes a habit, right? So if I were to do resorts, I'm going to do one once a week, right? We're going to pick one resort brand to spotlight this week. That's all I want you guys to start with. I don't want you guys to just overwhelm yourselves, okay? So if you like, all right, now I need to market resorts. Do you guys feel the need to market resorts? All right, do you? Let me know in the chat. This is something you want to market, right? Okay, fine. Pick one resort brand that you really like. I'm working with Rio. I really like Rio lately, so I've been working with them. I want you to create a Canva post and I want you to share it. You can take one of those videos if you want, put it into a reel, however you want to do it, okay? And then when it comes to our email, when we're doing our newsletters this month, make sure we do a resort of the month. Go ahead and feature that same resort that you like. And of course, keep a track of engagement. If the clients really like it, keep talking about it, right? If they don't like it, change it up, try another one. Okay? That's what I want you guys to do after watching this. That's exactly it. That's what I want you to take from it. This is now how I incorporate resorts. Here we go. Okay. So go ahead and comment below for me. I need feedback on these types of trainings because I can deep dive even further. Okay. This is just the basic lining of it, but I can get deeper. All right. But what is your number one takeaway for today's training? What did you guys think? What do you think is something that kind of maybe changed your mindset on how to market resorts? Let me know. Also, maybe how will you market resorts differently? Maybe kind of get an idea of different ways you can niche down on resorts. Feel free to drop any questions or comments in the chats as well. And of course, if you're still watching this on the replay, make sure you comment that hashtag replay so I can know that you stopped by. All right. So I'm going to head over to my studio now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to, like I said, to drop them there. And then next week, guys, we have some good trainings next week. Let me show you. Next week, guys, is group week. It's right here. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. So we're going to do resort group bookings next week. Then we're going to do cruise group bookings. And then I also am going to go over on Thursday, flight and hotel group bookings. I get these questions all the time, so I'm just going to break it down for you. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. And then two, I got the flyer out finally for October. I didn't show you guys that one yet. So let me show you this. At the end of October, we're going to be doing a fall and bookings week. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to teach you guys about how to push the deals right now. Okay, because Christmas is coming up and you're thinking, oh, Christmas is done. It's not done yet. We need to talk about how the deals we need to push right now, last minute ones. I'm also going to tell you guys how to easily make different stuff in Canva because it's a lot of fun. Holidays are the best time to market. We have so many cool things that we get to use. So I'm going to show you all of those in Canva. And then on the October 30th, I'm going to show you guys how to take the people that are booking for Christmas. They're giving their family that trip for next year for Christmas. We're going to show you guys how to turn them into future bookers so you guys can get your calendars built up for January, February, March, April. So that is what we're doing at the end of October. But you guys already know where it's at. You guys got to make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss when I'm going live because I do this Tuesday through Thursday every week. So I will see you guys back next week where we go over group bookings. Like I said, I'm going to head over to my studio. I will see all of your questions and comments there. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. I will see you guys soon.